Hey, this is Brian with Top Gun Basketball. The title of this video is The Benefits of Learning Through Immersion. Now, I just identified a huge weak spot of mine through filming these videos. I'm doing this up at Torrey Pines National Park, and every so often I've been, trying to get the shot in, and every so often people come up and they, stand around and kind of watch, and it kind of messes up with my flow. That's something that obviously, I'll get better at, but, anyways, pretty interesting side note on that. But on the last video, we talked, as I transitioned off of what I was saying about learning how to learn, and how it's so hard to get out of your comfort zone and doing things that are not you. And it reminded me of something else that someone told me about when I was trying to get outside mine. And he said, basically, you have your identity right here, right, which kind of controls everything, kind of like what you think you are, and how you move, how you are perceived in the world, and that's kind of like who you feel you are. And then you have this thing called congruence, which is if you are moving in ways that are aligned with your identity. So most people in the world, whether it's a good identity or not, here's congruence and this is identity. They're together, right? They're always married, and you cannot move congruence over here and then have this disconnect right here. You can't even. The thing. What you have to do is you have to do things that move your identity in an empowering direction. But what happens is the congruent part of your personality gets stuck and doesn't usually go if you do a drastic thing that's outside your comfort zone. For example, what I just talked about is people being like, watching me do these videos, kind of weird type of thing in public. So I kind of feel that I'm moving in a positive direction and changing my identity as the guy that can shoot videos while people are watching and stuff like that. Well, now my congruence to that is out here, and I feel kind of off. So to wrap that story up, is your identity and congruence are always like this. When you try to move your identity in a positive direction or whatever, the only way to get the congruence to move over with it, so you're in fully alignment of that, is through practice. I mean, that's really all it is. So the practice is what gets it there, and changing your habits. So it's kind of an interesting out there topic. I always, someone just told me the other day, I kind of listened with a different set of ears. So I'm really interested in soaking up these weird concepts. For example, identity and congruence. When someone said that to me, I was like, damn, man, I'm not going to learn that in school, right? So, I kind of like that, the off the beaten path type of stuff. And I've always been fascinated by subcultures and stuff like that, because one thing about learning through immersion is you got to choose who you want to learn from, because that's ultimately the way that you're going to go. And I love learning through people that, whether or not it's healthy or not, for some reason they've tipped their life in this unbalanced way, and they say, I'm going to learn this specific thing, and at the expense of everything else. So like everything else is going to go to crap, but I'm just going to learn this one thing, and I'm going to be completely immersed in it every day for like 3 years. So that doesn't mean that I have to do that, but when that guy comes out at the other end of the 3 years and starts talking about this one topic, well, you can learn way more from that guy about that specific thing than learning from a guy that's lived this very balanced life and makes this amount of money, and he has a house and a family, and he kind of does it. He does a good job, and there's nothing against that, because going back to, you can learn from everybody. I'll learn from that guy that could teach me about balance as well. So that's why I kind of love these guys, because they go kind of crazy when they're doing it, but they have so much epiphanies and so many aha moments. I feel like I was one of those guys for a long time when I was doing Top Gun, and I was coaching at the junior college level for 4 years. I was literally coaching basketball for 18 hours a day, every single day, for years. and that's pretty much all I did. It was at the sacrifice of everything else, and I was completely immersed in it. So anyways, here's a little mini immersion that you can have your kid go through, if that hopefully does not scare you. But you know, I love it because you're being around like-minded people that want to get better at the game. It's going to be a ton of fun, and you're going to be around coaches that are going to lead you down the way of learning all the different skills of the game and helping you become a better player. And you know, one thing that happens after these periods of immersion is these people usually get this sort of natural high after you're done with it, and you feel like you're so much better, and you are, and you get better. But this leads me to my next part, which is about the report card that each kid will get. And I take the report card very seriously when I was a camp counselor, because I know how much it impacted my life. When I went to camps, I took those things very seriously. If someone took the time to analyze my game, where my strengths and weaknesses are, I mean, I really focused on that very, very hard, and really, and especially if they did it in a real positive way, and kind of bringing this full circle. One good way to make someone better that is not necessarily there yet, or maybe they are, you know, maybe they are at a point where they've gotten better, but their mentality is not caught up with how much better they've gotten. Maybe they've hit a growth spurt, and you know, it's and what I talked about identity and congruence is you can treat people in ways that are empowering 100% in this identity way when you're coaching them. So you talk to them like they're a good player, you act like they're a great player. I mean, everything about it is like, you know, you're putting that, you're kind of forcing that frame or identity onto them. And then if you're good at it, and you're good at doing it to yourself as a leader, they can catch up with that. And that's, you know, that's a little trick, and a trick of the trade that it's not talked about a lot, but I could talk about that topic for, you know, 24 hours straight. But you know, this is a quick video on immersion. So anyways, you know, one thing that you'll get after the camp, and after you have a deep immersion into something, the next video that I'm going to talk about is you want to have the rejuvenation part. You can't have one with the other. It's the yin and the yang. So when you work very, very hard, and in the camp, you're going to be going through, you know, at least 30 hours of basketball instruction. It can be akin to drinking water through a fire hose at times, but you know, the rejuvenation part is when you kind of internalize everything. So, you know, anyways, I think the most important part is what you're going to do after it, and so that's what we're going to give you a packet of, and this is what really separates the people that get things done in the world and people that really don't. Mostly, is what are you going to do after, and so, for example, when I would get these packets, they'd have the report card, they'd have drills to work on, and you would see me when I was a little kid, I'd be outside, I'd actually do, like, to the letter, I would do the drills, right? And I would do all the stuff that it said. But one thing that I liked even more than that, was when they put in stuff like quotes from, like, John Wooden, or they'd have stories about, like, what are you worth to the team, which we've put in there, and which everyone will get. And I would kind of read it and listen to it with a different set of I would listen to it with a different set of ears, as someone just told me, I just soaked that stuff up. And a lot of people, it's funny, they're like, "Oh, you're making these 20-minute videos." I mean, this is a little. I tried showing it to, like, my family and my mom and my sister, and, like, they couldn't even make it through, like, 3 minutes, right? They're not big basketball fans, but this is more to the person where, like, if someone was talking about this type of thing, in which they actually do, if you look up on